let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Recession, 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 no, recession, no, recession, no, recession, no, recession, 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 recession. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Cantors, cantor, contour, contour. La 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 la. Contour. Pronunciation, I guess. Pronunciation. Contour. Cantor. Cantor. So, Cantor paradox. Cantor paradox. I want to talk about Cantor paradox because of so many fucking reasons. First of all, when your roommate is very clean, which is unnecessary, I don't like that. I mean, I'm a messy man, so, but I'm not dirty. However, this guy is so clean, which is annoying, and I feel it's obsession. Well, at the beginning, it was like, alright, make the room clean. I don't make the room clean. And it says he's like patient. He's a very patient guy. So he says, alright, it's fine as long as we communicate, and he reminds me every time that, alright, the room is not clean. And I ask him what happened. He says, like, oh, there is a salt here. And I say, I don't care about that salt being on the table. So he keeps communicating, and I make the room dirty, or I should say, I don't make it super clean. He gets obsessed, he communicates, and now I'm at the point, I don't like communication anymore, right? So, what happens if somebody tells you, I don't like this, and you don't like the communication? So it is, you don't like the way they want to fix the problem. So there is a problem, somebody comes to fix the problem, the other person doesn't like the way they want to fix the problem, and you can see my hands are going above each other, and it's becoming a matter of mental masturbation. Whenever we have this situation, it is mental masturbation. So I felt I have to release a video about it. And so I don't like the problem. There is a problem, which I don't think it is a problem. Somebody says, fix it. I don't like the way they want to fix it. They may be, I don't like the way you want to fix the way I want to fix it. And then I want to say, fix the way I want to fix the way I want to fix it. So that's it. That's one reason. Then the other day I was in the gym. I saw Amin, and he told me there will be a recession. And I said, so why is there a recession? He said, because GPUs of NVIDIA are like overpriced, and there is a bubble about it. And it's like, oh, okay, how a bubble can happen? He says, all right, people buy it, or it was something I learned. I don't know if I asked this part from Amin, but how is a bubble made? People buy stocks, and everybody else sees that, oh, this stock's price increased because other people bought it, and then everybody else wants to buy it without knowing why they bought it in the first place. So more people buy it, the stock price, because the demand goes up, the price goes up higher, more people want to buy it, and the price goes up. But those very beginning people, they didn't know that the price will be this high. This extra increment in the price is because just a lot of people felt they want to buy it, but they didn't know what is the real value of that commodity from the beginning. So they made a bubble, and once the product or that commodity is being used for its real value, it doesn't have that much of a value, and then this bubble bursts. So you can see that again, my hand went up and up and up, like price and price, because you do something and there's this positive feedback loop. Or again, when the bubble bursts, why is it? People short on something, some people start shorting, and a lot of people say, oh, people are selling this, and maybe we should short it too. It's a signal to other people that, what happened if we, like, it doesn't have value, and more people lose it, and then everybody follows, and then probably it loses a lot of its value or meets its real value. So what was that? And then what else? What else? Okay, I think. Oh, all right. Self-fulfilling prophecies. Also, I was when I was like talking to ChatGPT about these bubbles and stuff. Sometimes these bubbles are created out of self-fulfilling well, the same thing I just mentioned. I think that's the fulfilling prophecy of it, right? Oh, okay. Self-fulfilling prophecy is the part that they're thinking about whether they should buy it or sell it or short it or whatever. That was it. And like a lot of time in life, I have like you see these sentences like, oh, for example, you can make joke about anything, but you cannot make joke about making a joke. All right, this one nobody said it, but everything changes, and there is only one thing that doesn't change is the change itself, because change always exists, and something like that. So every time you want to say something very universal, you feel that there is a paradox. There is something that does not fit that proposition or statement. Like what? Like one is like change, one I don't know. I don't know, but and all of them, I never uh, studied the Cantor's paradox fully, but I heard it once during my logic class, and I felt this is about Cantor, so I didn't wait. It was 3 nights ago, and I have ChatGPT, what is this Cantor? And it seems that it is related. And it says like the foundation of math is set theory, and we cannot have these self-references in definition of a set, otherwise we will come up with sets that do not exist, or we will end up with contradiction. So these self-references, and in mathematicians or logicians came up with rules how to define sets in order to not have contradiction. And I wanna okay, something note has changed. All right. And so this self-referencing stuff, I wanted to see what happens there. And I wanna do this, and I wanna what? Why should it be like this? Why should my Google page be this? You know what it is like actually? I don't know if you have it in your own religion or something. Uh, when you go in your religious class in Iran, we have it, and you say, "So why does God exist?" And they say, "Because it is written in Quran." And then you ask, "Why should you believe in Quran?" And they say, "Because God wrote Quran." And it's a loop. That's it. That's the whole idea behind it. And the whole idea behind feedback is also loop. But when you are doing reasoning, you cannot depend on loops. Also, yeah, all right, that's something about that as well. And I wanna maybe the same with Bible. Who said Bible is right? Because Jesus said Bible is right. Who said Jesus is right? Because Bible said it. It says no, 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 no. Happy Christmas, by the way. In 2 days, maybe. Uh, yeah, that's it. And I need a chat GPT. So make me a new chat. Um, how can I share screen? All right, let's come here. I took a look at the proof of Cantor's. Um, my ear aches, by the way, because it's cold here in Boston. And what does he say? So he says, like set theory, at the beginning I think there was no rule for defining a set, and it caused paradoxes and confliction and contradictions. So what is it? Define a set A, set of all sets that for it, set of every set that do not contain itself. So all sets like B, I don't like to use X, all sets like B that uh, B is not in B. And I think Cantor says this is a contradiction. We cannot have a set like this. Why? If A either should be in A or should not be in A, right? If A is not in A, what does it mean? Well, A is the set of all sets that do not contain themselves. So if A is not in A, it means A contains itself, which is one step uh, contradiction. And if A is in A, it means, what does it mean? It means, well, A was the set of all the sets that do not contain themselves. Therefore, if A is in A, it should not contain itself. And it is another contradiction. That was super easy actually. So we can see that we cannot have this kind of definitions that have self-referencing. The problem comes with the thing, definition of a set cannot have this self-referencing thing that set of everything that can be a part of, what was the definition? Set of every set that contains themselves, right? So the definition of set depends on the definition of sets. Oh, different on the themselves. The problem is with themselves. You haven't defined the set itself and you're referring to themselves. So you didn't create something yet and you are referring to it. That's the problem. A set of every set that contains themselves, the problem in this sentence is themselves, because you didn't tell us what themselves is first. And I mean, not necessarily it can be a definition, right? In general, for example, you can say, oh, I have a function that is like, how can you say a differential equation? You are saying dx dt is 3x and it is self-referencing. How do we know that such a set exists or not? Then we say we are not sure. We need to check if such a solution exists. But the definition, if you say x equals 3 dx dt, for example, x of 0 is also like 4, right? You are saying the definition of x here is 3 dx dt. Depends on itself. And you need to make sure if such an x exists and then check, right? But for the sets, or it is different. For the sets, here we are asking if there exists such a function. Here we are asking if there exists such a definition, but set theory is the foundation of mathematics, and we need to have some rules. This example shows that we need to have some rules of what a set is. I mean, I don't think it is a problem in general if we have a definition for a set that has self-reference. But we can have examples like this that can cause problem. And because it is the right beginning point of mathematics, we cannot have this kind of... Here you can say it's no problem, this equation has no solution. Nothing about math is hard. Because, yeah, we can have equations that... But set is the foundation, so you need... I think okay, actually I need to study it better and to understand it better. So we are gonna take a closer look. What is... Actually, I want to type it here, it's easier. And also it has another formulation. Contours, paradox in set theory. By the way, contour is one of those pathological people in math, like contour set. What is contours? Paradox. Alright, here it says about set of all sets, and it says that we cannot have a set of all sets because we cannot have a set of all sets because its power set is always set of the all of the subset of a set is always bigger than the set itself. And if it is, for example, if the main set was an infinite size, its power sets infinity also. It's another level of infinity, not comparable, bigger than the previous one. For example, natural numbers and real numbers. Natural numbers are infinite, countable. Real numbers are uncountable. Cantor's paradox is a result in set theory that arises from considering a set of all sets and concept of cardinality, the size of a set. The ideal of the set of all sets in naive set theory. Naive set theory. What is naive set theory? It might seem reasonable to define a universe which is the set of all sets. What is naive? Alright. Power set and cardinality. For any set S, the power set of S denotes is the set of all subsets of a Cantor proved that the power sets of S has a strictly greater cardinality than S itself. So in other words, size of S, cardinality of S is strictly less than cardinality of P of S. The paradox, if U is the set of all sets, so we don't have a set of all sets. How is that related to all of the things we talked about, self-fulfilling and communication? Oh, with the communication, I think it is the self-referencing. Is that like, or you cannot, yeah, with the change example as well. We can fix any problem with communication. The only problem we cannot fix with communication is probably miscommunication. Is that true? The power would also be a subset of U, however, it's a contradiction large enough to contain everything. Paradox remains a fundamental issue with the concept of itself. In naive set theory, to avoid this paradox, modern set theory, Zermelo-Frankel's set theory, for example, avoids allowing the existence of such a universal set. Instead, it uses concept of hierarchy of sets. The von Neumann universe, where each set is constructed from smaller sets, and it enforces restrictions through axiom of regularity. I haven't heard about this stuff. Thus, the paradox shows that not all collections can be treated as sets in a consistent mathematical framework. Some collections, like the set of all sets, are considered too large and are instead treated as classes in more advanced framework. I haven't heard about these two, like von Neumann, Bernays, Gödel set theory. Wow, very interesting. All right, so let me continue on this because I want to hear it too. What is It is one of the reasons modern set theory, like Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory, uses axioms to. So we need to have some axioms to avoid such contradictions, specifically the axiom of, and we need to agree on axioms. Otherwise, regularity and axiom of separation prevent the formulation of universe. That's highly limitation in naive set theory, where the sets are defined informally. So, okay. Naive set theory says set is something that everybody understands, right? And it causes contradiction, as the example we show. Like every set, we know what a set is, and Cantor showed that we don't know actually what a set is. And Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory, for example, I think says we all agree on these 8 or I don't know axioms, and they are crystal clear, obvious, truth, we agree on them, and this way we don't end up with uh, contradiction. I don't think we have a proof that the set Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory is, for example, non-contradictory, but it is definitely better than the naive one. Result that drives the need for a more rigorous axiomatic framework in mathematics. What is naive set theory? Original informal approaches to theory where sets are defined intuitively without strict rules examined. In naive set theory, we'll consider a collection of objects called its element grouped together based on some property. Key features of naive set theory: informal, defined by listing their elements explicitly or describing product elements. Universal sets. In naive set theory, it is often assumed that there exists a universal set containing all possible objects. Which was wrong. In unrestricted comprehension, any definable collection of objects can be considered a set. For example, the set X can be performed by any property P. Problem with naive set theory. See? That's the definition I gave, but when you ask ChatGPT what is Cantor's paradox, it gives you the power set definition, but once, it's Russell's paradox. Okay, alright, no problem. They are probably friends. Is lack of rigorous leads to paradoxes where seemingly reasonable assumptions, all of them matter, result in contradiction. Famous examples include Russell's paradox, which we said, contradiction, Cantor's paradox, demonstration that the set of all sets cannot exist because its power set would have a strictly large, so we don't have a universal set, large cardinality, violating its own definition. Burali-Fortieri paradox, which says concerns the set of all ordinal numbers, which lead to contradiction when trying to determine the largest ordinal. This issues mathematician developed such as Zermelo-Fraenkel set theory, a widely used system that avoids paradoxes by carefully defining how sets can be constructed. Axiom of separation restrict the formation of sets to avoid too large or contradictory sets. Axiom of regularity, that was about von Neumann, ensures no set is a member of itself, preventing circular definition. So that's the only thing we need to remove. No set is a member of itself. Naive set theory is the intuitive pre-axiomatic version of the set theory that works well for simple and finite case, fails when dealing with more complex or infinite sets leading to logical paradoxes. The groundwork for rigorous formal system. Alright, I want to see R set theories based on ZF or separation or regularity equivalent. Are not strictly equivalent. Wow, very interesting. So which one we are choosing? But they are deeply interrelated. The inclusion of axioms like separation and regularity is a defining feature of ZF set theory. So ZF is kind of the smallest one. Here's a breakdown of the relationships. ZF set theory. ZF is an axiomatic system for set theory that avoids paradoxes of naive set theory. It consists of several axioms, including axiom of separation, ensures subsets are well defined. Okay, axiom of regularity prevents sets from containing themselves or having infinite descending membership chains. Alright, infinite. It's always the problems with infinite. Other key axioms include existentiality, pairing, union, infinity, power set, and replacement. ZF is a comprehensive framework and all axioms contribute to its structure. What does a comprehensive mean? What does it mean? A comprehensive concept means a complete, well-structured system of rules that avoid contradictions. Oh, it is proven? ZF does not. It prevents the paradoxes that arise in naive set theory. Paradox or counter paradox supports building mathematics. It provides a solid foundation for defining and studying mathematical concepts like number, functions, and spaces. Covers a wide range of cases and includes axioms to handle both finite and infinite sets, subsets, and complex relationship between sets. For example, ZF set theory is a comprehensive. It uses multiple. However, I mean it is robust enough as a foundation for most modern mathematics, from algebra to shit. So what parts of mathematics does not it cover? All right. And what other I wanna say is it proven that ZF has no contradiction? What areas of modern math are not covered by ZF? No, it's not proven. It's free of contradiction. The reason lies in the limitation of the logic itself. So, mathematical logic itself is limited. Gödel's incompleteness theorem. Any sufficiently powerful and consistent formal system like ZF, I think which includes number or calculus, cannot prove its own consistency. So nothing can prove its own consistency. That's beautiful. This means we cannot construct a proof within ZF itself or any comparable system to show that ZF is free of contradiction. Relative consistency, mathematics. So no system can says I am. That's Jesus and Bible, or God and Allah and Quran, whatever it is. Oh, why is it Bible? Bible says Jesus. Jesus says Bible. Bible. It's like chicken and the egg, right? Mathematicians instead try to show that ZF is relatively consistent. What does that, dude? What does relatively consistent mean? Meaning that if some simpler system like piano or arithmetic is consistent, then ZF is also consistent. Oh, okay. So they say if this system is consistent, then it is consistent. And probably they have, that's a simpler system, they have intuition, but relatively. However, this approach does not provide an absolute proof of consistency because the simpler system's consistency might also be unproven, which is, otherwise we would say it is absolutely consistent. Confidence in ZF, despite the lack of an absolute proof, ZF is widely trusted because it has withstood intense scrutiny for over a century. That's beautiful. It avoids paradoxes that arise in naive set theory by carefully structuring axioms. It aligns with mathematical intuition and has not yet led to contradiction. Well, a lot of things in mathematics we learn are not intuitive, so the last one I don't. What areas of modern math are not covered by ZF? That's interesting. ZF set theory for a foundation for nearly all of traditional mathematics. However, there are areas and extensions where ZF alone is insufficient. Oh, they need to have more axioms or less large cardinals and advanced set theory. So this is more logic. ZF does not inherently include axioms about large cardinals, measurable cardinals, inaccessible, which are critical in higher set theory, and some areas of mathematical logic. Since it often requires stronger systems like ZFC, which is like similar to KFC, with the axiom of choice. Oh, C is choice, of course. So we always assume axiom of choice. Or ZFC augmented with additional large cardinal axioms. Constructive mathematics. I think constructive mathematics is the one that we cannot have, what is it called in? The Arian constructions, rejecting the law of excluded middle. Is it how they call it in English? Excluded middle? Proof by contradiction. Alright. So proof by contradiction. Excluded middle. Alright. Framework like intuitionistic, I think simpler. Outside ZF, non-well-founded set theories. What does that mean? None of them are intuitive to me though. ZF, I think ZF covers all the intuitive parts of mathematics. ZF requires set to be well-founded, meaning no set can contain itself or form finite chip chains. Some framework like NNT Foundation is allow for non-well-founded, which are used in areas like computer science, circular data structures. Who works that? Alternative logical foundations. That was also category theory. Not all mathematics relies on classical logic, which underpins ZF. That's crazy. What is it? Category theory. Some argue category theory could replace set theory as the foundation of mathematics. Well, why don't we have it? Homotopy type theory, a newer framework emphasizing constructions over set membership. So we are having, maybe for the next centuries, I don't know what, physics and applied mathematics. Well, those are applied, those are not abstraction. Certain areas of theoretical physics like quantum mechanics or string theory do not strictly rely on ZF. Instead, they use specialized mathematical tools, functional analysis, tensor calculus. Bullshit. What is that? That was bullshit. Ultra finitism and computational mathematics, like which doubt the existence of very large or infinite numbers, reject parts of that rely on infinity. Some people who just can't think finitely. Computational mathematics often uses finite and discrete structure, practical computation than infinite. While covering the vast majority of modern mathematics, it has limitation in addressing areas like require alternative logic, constructive, intuitionistic, go beyond ZF, large cardinal. Alright, I I don't. One thing I want to say is, um, what is category theory? What is category theory? Branch of mathematics have a high-level abstract framework for and the relationship it focuses not on individual elements within sets or structure, but on how these structures interact through morphisms, generalized functions, or mappings. But mappings and functions depend on sets to be defined. Originally developed, formalized, and unified concepts in algebra and topology. Also, it started from algebra and topology. Category theory has since become powerful in many areas of mathematics, computer science. Basic concept of categories. A category consists of objects, abstract entitles, entities, set spaces, algebraic structures, morphisms, direct relationship between objects, functions, map, or structure. Examples in the category of sets, objects are sets, and morphisms are functions. Composition. Morphisms can be composed, changed, which are like this. Identity morphism. Key construction. Okay, this is just composition of function. Functor is a mapping between categories that preserve the structure of object morph. An example function. Functor from the category of sets to the category of groups might assign to each set. But it is very natural transformation is a way to transform one limits generalized concepts like products and intersections. Co-limits generalized concepts like union and quotients. Category sets, GRP. Category theory. So why is it important? Okay, I'm not that interested in category. Theory shifts the focus from individual elements of structures, number is a set, to the relationship between structures. This is abstraction allows for deeper understanding by the approach to simultaneous. Alright, not very interested in pursuing this. So we were talking about ZF. Oh, and the relationship. Oh, wait, I am curious about this one. Set theory based on ZF. Separation is defining vision. ZF is axiomatic. Separation. Axioms of separation. The axiom of separation ensures that for any set S and any definable property, what is a definable property? We can form a subset of S containing of elements Px. All of them satisfies this property. This avoids the formation of paradoxical sets like all of the x's that x are. Why? Because it is okay. Property is something in logic and mathematical logic they make it, as in Russell's paradox, because the subset must originate from an existing set. Alright, it's no self-reference. Without separation, separation is against self-reference, right? The unrestricted comprehension of naive set theory leads to contradictions. However, separation alone is not enough to construct a fully functional set theory, as it does not guarantee the existence of infinite sets or power sets, or we want to make sure we have power sets. For example, axiom of regularity, it makes sure we have. The axiom of regularity or foundation states that every non-empty set, it's just an axiom, we accept it, S contains an element that is disjoint from S. What does that mean? This prevents sets from containing themselves, directly or indirectly. Regularity eliminates pathological cases, like infinite descending membership chains, X in X1 to ensuring a well-founded hierarchy of sets. Without regularity, some non-standard models of set theory can exist, but most mainstream set theories include it for consistency. ZF includes separation and regularity, both separation. Separation or regularity alone is insufficient. Sets are well defined but doesn't provide enough structure to construct which is just like even ZF alone is not good because we want to add axiom of choice, right? Regularity prevents certain pathological. Modified system can be equivalent in power. Set theory. Zermel means replacement, but it's still inclusive. While Z and ZF differ in expressive power, they are equivalent for many. Dropping regularity leads to set theory like non-well-founded. Cyclic. These are all logic. Alright, that's good to know. I don't want to get very deep. And I will also say, so this example I think is also one of the cases of this case. So I remember my teacher told me this in the class, something like that. I have a feeling. So we have a piece of paper and we have a piece of paper and it says it is a lie. So, okay. This sentence is lying. So, okay, this sentence. My uncle used to tell me something like that too. Alright. This sentence is lying. Is it true or false? Alright, this sentence is lying. Let's assume A. He's right. He is right. If he is right, right? If he is right, means that the sentence is lying, then he cannot be right. Oh, this is exactly the Russell's paradox. B, he's a liar. I mean, he's honest, right? Sentence, I mean, I think my sentence is male. Honest. So he's honest, then he's a liar. Or when you say, trust me, I'm lying, right? If I'm honest, then I'm saying I'm lying, which is a contradiction. If I'm a liar, I cannot trust you, and I cannot believe. Well, okay, that's a bit. Like, definition of liar is not a person who lies all the time. He's lying. If he's lying, then means the sentence is lying is not true. It means he's honest. Then he's honest. So okay, I think that's actually a case of Russell's paradox too. Okay, I wanna study this part more. So is this also a case of is it also a case of Russell paradox when a sentence says This sentence is wrong. Is related and relevant in the sense that both reveal self-referential contradiction, but they arise in different contexts. Well, first of all, this sentence is wrong. From the meaning point of view, it's not a sentence, right? But grammatically, it's a sentence. How this sentence is wrong relates to Russell's paradox. Wrong, the liar paradox. Okay, it's called the liar paradox. Alright, okay. This is an example of the liar paradox, which involves self-referential statement in logic and language. If the sentence is true, then what it says, this sentence is wrong, must be true, implying it is false. Which the sentence itself. If the sentence is false, then it's true. It's true, this creates a logical contradiction and no consistent truth value can be assigned. The liar paradox belongs to the realm of linguistic, self-reference, and formal logic. Russell's paradox. Self-reference both lead to contradiction, simultaneously asserting, denying a property reference. What is the differences? Aspect, domain, self-reference type, version statement, self-referential set definition, resolution approach, multi-value type theory, or truth hierarchies. Oh, so there also we add some regularity or something like that. While the liar paradox and Russell paradox share self-referential character, they arise in different instance of Russell, but rather an instance of logical paradox. Okay, I want to say, is there any intuitive statement in self-referential, you said? Okay. Logic that cannot be expressed through formal logic. So is it okay? They end up in contradiction, but are there things that we can say that make sense, but the formal logic cannot say? Whether there exists a self-referential statement, intuitive logic. Who said intuitive logic? I said formal logic. I said intuitive statement. Cannot be expressed from. So on, generally formal logic is designed to rigorously capture logic. So statement including self-referential ones. However, there are certain limitations. Subtleties, expressiveness for formal, modern formalism are capable of representing a wide range of self-referential states. So it's not that they don't have self-referential, but they put a limit on it probably. For example, formal system can encode systems like this is unprovable. Gödel's incompleteness theorem is false. Liar paradox. Limits of formal logic. While formal logic can express many self-referential ideas, the interpretation of such a statement often requires external context or human intuition. Exactly, I want to know human intuition. For instance, ambiguity. Some self-referential statements rely on natural language nuances, Difficult to forward without additional infinite regress. Self-reference may lead to infinite regress, which can be challenging to follow. Intuition versus formal. Intuitive logic often deal with things well-defined or rely on methodological reasoning. Understand yourself. Okay, I like that. Okay, give me some examples. When you say understand yourself, why this is intuitively meaningful, yes. Formalizing what understanding oneself entails in logic can be highly non-trivial. Intuitive self-reference may involve vagueness, emotions, or context-dependent meanings. Okay. So we have a lot of them, which are not naturally captured by strict formalism. Yeah, of course. Self-reference in metalogic. What is metalogic? Zuckerberg uses. Zermelo Franco, Zuckerberg. F. Who is F? Tesla. I don't know. Facebook. Yes, Facebook. Zuckerberg's Facebook. Some statements about formal and meta. some statements. Do you believe in miracles now? Some statements about formal systems themselves, meta statements, may not be expressible within those systems, but can be reasoned about, bound externally. Example, Gödel's sentence. This statement is not provable in the formal system, but its truth stepping outside the system. Meta theory. Alright. Formal gaps. There might be intuitive, creative self-references in poetry, art. So those are not logic. Poetry, art, or informal reasoning that, and usually probably if you use self-reference, you will make poetry. That's also a way to make poetry and art. Informal reasoning that escape the direct reach of formal logic. They are not unexpressible per se, but require extending formal logic with new symbols, frameworks, or interpretation. Gödel's incomplete. Gödel or Gödel? Gödel's incompleteness. Gödel showed that certain true statements about arithmetic cannot be proven within the formal system, are often self-referential but require stepping into a meta-mathematical to fully interpret the map. Is not the territory. That's beautiful too. The map is not, that's a projection. That's a picture of it. And a philosophical statement that points to the self-referential relationship with abstraction and reality. It's just a model, it's not the reality itself. Formalizing this kind of might be possible, but requires significant conceptual interaction. What was that? Oh, these are concrete examples of, which is not poetry, by the way. The map is not the territory. How is that related to a philosophical statement that points to the self-referential relationship between abstraction and reality? I love this sentence. I like to. I don't know how is that related to our talk, but this is a nice sentence. So map simplifies. And you can always have more space when you go to the 3 and you can find better solutions maybe. We need to always stay positive. But I don't know how is that related to this. A philosophical statement that points to the self-referential relationship between abstraction and reality. Formalizing this kind of intuition might be possible but requires significant emotional or cognitive self-reference statement like I feel confused about my own thoughts. Yeah. Or I understand that I don't understand. Wow, that's very interesting. Well, that really depends on the concept. Have a self-referential intuition, but are harder to encode in purely logical terms. So you can see that. Okay, I was a stupid person. A lot of people who like mathematics are stupid because they grow this belief that they can prove everything with math. Uh, but better at the beginning of every math course, they say, okay, fuck you, fuck off. In principle, formal logic is designed to express all logically rigorous statements, including self-referential ones. However, some self-referential ideas depend on intuitive, methodological, context-dependent reasoning. Yeah, context-dependent, which might make formal expression cucumber, or incomplete without examining the logical. There is a difference between unexpressible and difficult to formalize, while no known self-referential is inherently unformalizable. An abstraction. Okay, that was good too. Alright, what is left? What are we uh, still interested? Is it done? Can we move on? Even if we talked about 80% of it. Alright. So is art or poetry? Now that logic cannot study that. Now that logic cannot study this kind of statements. Can who can study it? Intuition, emotion, context, or vagueness. These approaches might be better suited to examine and understand them. Here's a breakdown of what can study such statements. Alright, philosophy, cognitive science and psychology, linguistic, art and literature, sociology and anthropology. What was the other one? Philanthropist. Ah, anthropology means studying human. Philanthropists, they don't study, they do charity. Systems thinking and cybernetics, theology and mysticism. So maybe that thing we said about, oh, God says this, and then God is in the Quran, and then din. Well, maybe they are okay with artificial intelligence and computational models. How is that related? I thought the whole artificial intelligence, philosophy, psychology, linguistics, the unique perspective, right? Formal logic. Alright, that's good. Let's go over philosophy. Philosophy has a long history of dealing with self-referential, paradoxical, or intuitively complex systems. Challenge strict formal systems. Epistemology says how we know things, including self-referential knowledge, like I know that I don't know. I think it's just not a complete sentence. Like I don't know. Laptop, but I know that I don't know laptop. That's it. I don't see any self-reference in it. That is okay with me. Philosophy of language. Another how language represents meaning, including self-referential and context-dependent statement. Phenomenology uses subjective first-person experiences and how they relate to self-reference and intuition. Meta-philosophy explores the limit of logic, formal system. Asking question about what kind of... Give me example. It's just okay. I'm conflicted. Interesting emotional and intuitive reasons as interplay between logic and feelings. In self-referential thought, I'm conflicted. Neuroscience. Alright. Linguistics. Can you give example? Art and literature. A story about storytelling. Use several structures to explore them. Rich. Visual arts like MC. Use self-referential imagery like hand drawing. Yeah, like drawing her face to provoke thoughts. Yes, that's beautiful. Yeah, I saw one of those. So what is this? That is not... How is this thing? Problem? These are fractals. And this one. Okay. Yeah, like it is talking about cycle actually. It's not even one hand, it's like two hands. Okay, good. Self-reference. Postmodern literature. Library of Bible. What is the story of that? A society that doubts itself. Collective beliefs. Maybe that is related to the bubbles. Collective belief, including paradoxical self-referential ideologies. Anthropology explores how different cultures handle self-referential or recursive thinking. Systems thinking. Cybernetics. What is cybernetics? Feedback loops and self-regulating systems, which are inherently system theory, examples of ecosystem economies. Autopoiesis in biology. Wow, that's crazy. So we have systems in nature that self-produce and self-maintain. That's crazy. How is that possible? How can it survive energy? The systems produce and maintain itself by creating its own parts. How is it possible? Theoretical biology. We have theoretical biology. Cognition and sense of life. Do we have something like that? Animals. Okay. What is the sound of one hand clapping? God understands himself. What is self-referential? That is nothing. Using other Japanese for self-referential statements. Mysticism embraces to know the truth, forget everything. That's nice. Yeah, but like something like this, it's just a short sentence, but once you read it, you know that okay, forget everything you learned so far. You just to make it punchier, you just exaggerated or removed or took it to the extreme. Example, Zen Kwans, such as what is it? Okay. Recursive AI. Okay. Let's go over the bubble now. What about, oh yeah, that's also. What about, yeah, let's go over that example. What about the sentence? Everything changes. What change? Everybody's not logically contradictory. Yes, everything other than changes. You can say it like that. Instead, it conveys a profound idea about the nature of change and performance. Let's unpack it. Alright. Yes, you can say everything other than this motherfucker change. Change as the only constant. The sentence suggests that change itself is the only unchanging or permanent phenomenon. This idea resonates with the philosophy of Heraclitus. Malaka. The sentence suggests that the change itself is the only unchanging or permanent. And it said you cannot step into the same river twice. Yes. Emphasizing that everything in the universe is constant. So, except twice. What the fuck? So everything changes but change. So you cannot step into the same river twice, except twice. Except the river of twice. Except the river of twice. You cannot same river. Except the same river. Honestly, it should be except the same river. You cannot step into the same river twice except the same river. Because it's same is the name of the river. Self-reference. The statement refers to the concept of change while excluding it from the universal property of everything changing. Dude, my ear aches, but it is aching for a week and it doesn't finish. Okay. Alright. This is changing and avoids outright contradiction by treating change as a meta level concept. So exactly, it is about being meta, and that's it. It's all about being meta. I feel it's all about being meta. distinct from the thing that you are observing something and you're talking about that observation. But the things that you are saying are not part of the observation. That's it. I like that. Distinct from the things that are changing. Philosophical perspective. The sentence challenges the assumption that permanent exists in the universe. Or you can say everything is permanent other than permanence. By reframing change as an unchanging principle, this can lead to a reflection on nature. And which we studied in formal logic. Oh, okay. Statement can be analyzed in formal logic with its different meaning may require interpretation and strict logic for let X represent entities in universe. Define a predicate C of X, X changes. The statement implies for any X, for all X, C of X and not of C. Exactly. For any X. So if X is change, C of change and not of C of change is false. Is treated as a unique concept distinct from the changing entities avoiding direct self. But X can be a change beyond logic, while formal logic and go the search of its meaning realize. Exactly. It is. I feel it is about the meta, and also it relates with the universal thing that we cannot have a universal set again. Because you are saying I have a universal set that change is also part of the universal set, which is not. Change is treated change avoiding selection. Beyond logic, while formal logic can go search its meaning relies on the self-referential aspects. How we compare categories like everything and principle. Who studies this statement? Philosophy. One other thing I studies such ideas to explore the nature of reality, permanence, and thus. How language can abstract ideas. Alright, paradox or not, unlike a true paradox, this sentence is false. Philosophical reflection. Change. Thing changes but the philosophical statement. So it's both poetic and philosophical statement about the consistency of change itself. It is formal paradox in logic as thought-provoking way to encapsulate. Alright. It is similar to the universal set idea that exists at the beginning that cannot exist. At the beginning that cannot exist. Oh, we are talking about metaverse. Alright. That I always make it like this. Beginning. Why is beginning 2n? Alright, cannot exist. It is similar to the universal set idea that the beginning cannot exist. We cannot have a universal set that, because change is something we observe, include we cannot have a universal set that include the way our observed object and the way we describe the observation. Something like that. Let's see what Correct. The sentence "everything about change" indeed shares conceptually with the universal set problem, highlights an important limitation attempt to include both an observed object and the framework or principle of observation within the same system. This is a profound. Wow, dude, I'm so profound. I am so profound, and there is no contradiction in that fucking sentence. Well, I'm observing myself, and I am so profound, so it's fine. This is a profound idea with implications across philosophy, set theory, and even epistemology. So you see, there is an object, and it's back to map is not territory probably, model is not reality. You use a language to model a... Oh, okay, actually there was some stuff about this in my logic course too. It was at the end of it, I didn't learn it well. So they at that time they were saying there is a universe and there is this language or logic that's trying to describe the universe. But I think we can have different that's why I mentioned metaverse, by the way. We can have different universes that are described by the same logic. Oof. Yes, okay, I'm happy I mentioned that. Okay, we can have, and that's actually sometimes what I think, and it is what greatest philosopher of all time, my cousin, mentioned, that I think everybody's cousin at one time in his life tells him, shares his thought with him, and you tell your cousin, never say that to anybody else again. That says, your cousin comes and say, okay, this is black because I say it is black, but you may see it green, but you are calling it black. You know, you definitely had this kind of cousin. So, and you tell her, okay, but what is the difference? So each one of us have our own universe, but we are using the same language to describe the same universe, and probably most of the time we, on simple stuff like black, on chair, on laptop, we agree, but when it comes to emotions or other stuff, we may not agree. So our universes are not completely separate. Our language is the same. Yeah, all of us are using English or any like Persian or I don't know, coding. We use the same language to describe a universe that is private to us. And we have to use the same language, otherwise how can I talk about my universe? And then, alright, that's also something that even if it is emotions, like sometimes you have this feeling and you can explain it through that language, and the other guy, it resonates with the other guy. So I don't know. Alright. Changes, but change indeed shares conceptual sense with universal set problem. Alright. Oh, okay. Now I was thinking about Deadpool and Wolverine and the whole idea of like these metaverses. It kind of actually exists, right? Because what happened? Okay, he went and found another Wolverine that was in another universe, but what it actually means is that we only have one world, but from a perspective of one of us, this fucking Wolverine is an asshole. From a perspective of another one, this is like the nicest person who this world exists because of him. So, I mean, metaverse is not. I don't know why am I talking about metaverse, but it also is relatable to this, that all those characters exist, but how we look at them from different people's perspectives are different. Yes. Alright. I think I said like 80%, 95% of what I wanted to say. Indeed shares the conceptual similarity with universal set problems and highlights an important limitation of attempting to include both an observed object and the framework or principle of observation within the same system. This is a profound idea with implication across philosophy, set theory, and even epistemology. Connection to the universal set problem. The universal in naive set theory, Russell's paradox, the universal attempts to include both observed. The issue arises exactly because the universal set attempts to include both the observed objects sets and the rules of observation membership. Yes. Within a single framework. So you're bringing membership and sets next to each other. Very beautiful. Dude, we are blessed for having ChatGPT, honestly. I mean, we are also blessed that all of these were thought about previously. I mean, a lot of people thought about them and they typed them down, so now ChatGPT can help us. Everything changes. And I'm always thinking, by the way, okay, if every knowledge is ChatGPT is not complete, but we can never have a complete ChatGPT. But what is new? We don't know any piece of information that we find out if it is new or not. Fuck. What if one, real numbers, we had natural numbers, we made it to real numbers. Then we said, all right, if it is closed under polynomial solutions, no complex numbers, they are closed. Do you think human beings' knowledge one day becomes closed? Like everything we find, we can find it through the data we already have. Is there something purely new that we haven't talked about? Within a single framework, everything changes but change. This statement attempts to separate change itself, a meta-concept, from everything that changes observed. If you try to include change in the category of everything that changes. Where was I? Okay. Usually right, because universal sets attempt. Okay, that's the problem. You cannot have a solution for everything. And oh shit, this is another one. This is another one of these motherfuckers. You cannot have a solution for everything, but the sentence I just said is the solution for that. Let go. You don't need to have a solution for everything. And once you say it is the solution. Fuck you, life. Fuck you! Alright. Everything changes but change. So, change is a word that we created to describe our observed world. But now we are bringing these two worlds together and use change as a part of this new world. We cannot describe it. Then we need a meta thing. Yeah, okay. Then regularity. To separate change itself, a meta concept, exactly, from everything that changes observed object. And we cannot observe all the world at one time. And we cannot express all the world at time. So we always have an observation set, and we have a set of words to express. Change itself from everything that changes. If we try to include change in the category of everything that changes, we would. Yeah, it is a concept problem that we have. We are talking about this stuff. But the things that we talk with are not part of those stuff. So we need a separation. Maybe we would, Or regularity and meta. These are big words. Respect. We need to separate these words. We can separate everything. The only thing we cannot separate is separation. No, that doesn't make sense. But there should be something about them too. Alright. My ear. Alright, this statement attempts to separate. If we try to include change in the category of everything that changes, we would encounter a logical. Does change itself change? This creates a potential self-repression of the universal set. Keen size observers and observed. Alright, that's also a beautiful thing. Observed and observer should be separate. If they're involved, then it fucks up everything. Observer and observed. This limitation reflects on a broader principle in philosophy and science. The observer and the observed cannot always be included in the same system. But human beings are. That is an abstract assumption that, and we probably can make it happen in a finite space that we are looking at that table, but at the end of the day, we are all part of this world, this big world that we are in it, and we want to say something about this whole world, including us, and then we cannot say a big thing. That's the thing. Again, I have the same problem. We cannot say a big thing. That's the thing. It seems like a big thing itself. The sentence looks like a big thing. Alright. The observer and the observed cannot always be included in the same system. Honestly, sometimes I can cry. But not right now. But it sucks. We cannot say something that is right all the time. And this sentence is right all the time. Ah! Alright. I shouted, I didn't cry. The observer and the observed cannot always be included in the same system without leading to contradiction or ambiguities. This principle is seen in various fields. Set theory. The universal set cannot include him. Breaks down when self-referential applied. Epistemology. What is epistemology? In studying knowledge. Oh, so we are studying knowledge. Knowledge is studying knowledge. Knowledge of studying knowledge. Oh, or when you get a coach, and then somebody is a coach, and he needs a coach to be how to coach people, and coach of how to coach. Well, that makes sense, by the way. That's okay. Oh, but it is closed. Is it closed? Right? Again, back to real number and solving equations. When we complex number is a closed set. What do we call that? So sometimes once we use an approach, we use it again, it is closed under it. And exactly. Quotients and non-quotients, the same way can be come from, we have natural numbers. We can use quotients as equations of the natural numbers. Non-quotients also as an equation of them. But okay, it's not the way we complete natural numbers, alright? Yeah, so we go from natural numbers to integers, then to quotients, by ratio or by pairing them, and then which is also an equation form, and then how do we make non-quotients? By limit we do that. And how do we do, well, then this is complete. This is not closed under equation. All right. But real numbers are, oh, okay, actually that's true. All right, real numbers are complete under completing. So, okay. Oh, that's always exists. So, closure of a closed set is always closed. All right. How is that related to this? Closure of a closed set is always closed. Like I'm trying to find a closure for like the both of them, right? Something like that. I want to find a closure for observer and the observed. Dude, my ear aches. Fuck. Why do I have to go to the gym? But the gym is closed and I want to do some cardio. Observer and the observed cannot always be included in the same. Cannot always. Sometimes they can. Yeah, we said there are self-referential things that are fine. Yeah? Without leading to contradiction, when this is seen in various fields, set theory, the universal, okay, epistemology, cannot fully observe the observer's framework. One cannot fully observe the observer's framework. What is the observer's framework? So those words we describe, observer's framework, probably the words we describe used to describe the observed item. We cannot be observed. Alright, makes sense. Without stepping outside it, our mind. Alright. Physics in quantum mechanics, the observers act. Oh, I actually like that he brought physics because I was thinking of like electron, and they say electrons behave weird and they cannot be observed. They act weirdly once they want to be observed. And human beings, also we have the problem with human beings. Human beings, once they are observed, okay, that's actually really good. So on one side we have this thing that says we need to separate the observed item or the object from the observer. And on the other hand, we have these problems that observer and observed are in the same world, and in reality there is no separation. Whenever you put a human being in front of camera, they act differently as they are. So observing has an effect or electrons observing them, the fact of observing change what they are. So this assumption, which is super important to keep us congruent, no contradiction. In reality, well, okay, when I see the iPhone, my iPhone doesn't change. But when I don't look at it, it turns into a Samsung phone. No, but at the same time, we have cases that like electrons, like human beings, or like animals, right? If you go to a lion's ecosystem and you're too annoying to the lion, it will kill you. So it affects the way. It's also not good. Alright, we need to talk about it. The universal cannot include both all sets and set self, as all breakdowns and self-reference apply. Physics. In quantum mechanics, the observer's act of measurement affect the observed system. Mechanics, the observer's act of measurement, exactly. Okay, that was the thing that I was talking about. Wave function collapse. Philosophy of language. We use language to talk about language. Describe its own rules, similar to God, exactly. Meta level reasoning, I like that too. The solution to these problems often involves meta level reasoning. I love that. Where the framework itself is treated as a separate from the object it describes. So we have these universes, we have this universe, probably at one point we have a universe, hopefully. Then we create a language to describe this universe. By the way, we are part of this language, and the language, fuck that. Let's assume everything is clean. We create a language to describe this universe. And then we forget that this was, that's our problem. We are human beings and we forget. So we had this universe, we started to create this language to talk about this universe. In the middle of it, we human beings forget that we created the language to describe the universe, but we start using the same language to describe the language itself. It fucks up our system, so we need meta reasoning. We need the universe language to describe the universe, and we need to create a new language to describe the language. But we don't. We always have one language because avoid universe restricting houses can be constructed, but in real life we have this problem. Alright, in logic, metalogical framework distinguish between system and statement about that system. God doesn't completeness. In philosophy, second order reasoning. Alright, what is it? Second order reasoning separates principles. Change from the object governed by those principles. Alright, implication changes meta principle. Limit of observation. This idea highlights the limits of describing the universal reality. Any attempt, to fully encapsulate everything, including the act of observation, will run into paradox. That's the fucking problem. We are living in a world that does not have paradox. And still, because it exists, this fucking world exists, so there is no paradox in it. But we don't have I'm feeling high. Alright, we don't have any non-paradoxical way to describe it. Philosophical reflection, the statement prompts us to question whether we can ever fully describe the world without stepping outside our framework of understanding. Jeez. Conclusion. Your observation beautifully illustrates the recurring theme in logic, philosophy, and science. The inherent limits of self-failure. Whatever it is, universe outside, blah, blah, blah. Alright, I think we looked at the one main thing through different examples, and I'm kind of happy that kind of confessed that this problem exists. Next time, let's talk about the bubbles. Is there anything left we want to talk here? Oh, okay. I wanted to ask about logic and universe. So, wait, what am I sharing by the way? Ah, it's been 2 hours. All right, mathematical logic. We have language, logic, semantic, and we have universe. Can you explain them? Okay, this part, or model, huh? All right, let's see what it says. Okay. Oh, okay. Semantic. Oh. Semantics is a meaning to the symbols and formulas of a language. It is wherever such in terms of a concrete universe of objects. Assuming the symbol of a language. Alright, on to relation. No, I didn't mean this stuff. Okay, listen. That the language and the logic refer to provides the context in which statements are interpreted. Alright, model. I think model was the use there. When the universe might be n, the set of natural numbers. Geometry might be points, lines, and shapes. Role the universe is crucial for interpreting non-logical symbols. For example, like is very strong for all object holds. Alright, specifies what can be expressed. Alright, language says what can be expressed. Logic provides rules for reasoning about this expression. Well, does logic depend on the universe or depend on the language? Semantics gives meaning to the expression by linking to the objects. Oh, okay. Semantic is that. Says what word expression links to the real world. Truth values, universe, the domain of objects that language grounded in. Language, example, consider creation. Peace, even, logic. We reason about using user control. Semantic is science. To mean x is an even number. Okay, alright. All right, one last question I have is that, okay, we have self-referential motherfuckers. I came, I came to acceptance that we have motherfucker. N does not have zero. That's a computer science point of view. My ear. All right. What was I saying? Don't forget it. I don't want to forget it. Okay. All right. We have this these self-referential motherfuckers exist, but I wanted to know that the same way we had in ZF set theory, that we did not allow self-referential motherfuckers to show up. How can we stop it to happen in real life? Alright. Limits and philosophical implications. Self-reference problem arise when language, logic, and semantic attempt to describe themselves. Of course. Observers and universe. The framework language is distinct from the universe being studied, echoing the one that observer and observer must remain separate. This separation ensures consistency, but also a little formal systems are limited because observer and the observed are in the same world. Also, truth or reality, yes. Alright, at the end of the day, observe. So logic is when the observer exists within the same world. This profound is at the heart of many philosophical debates and between how we conceptualize reality and how we experience. Wow. How we conceptualize reality and how we experience it. What does conceptualize mean? Implication of the thousand or being in the same world. Self-reference and paradox. Let me do not forget the other one. What is the equivalent? What is the equivalent of ZF axioms in real life in order to avoid self-reference? Alright. Implication of observer and observed being in the same world. Self-reference and paradox. When the observer tries to study or describe the entire world, including themselves, it often leads to self-referential paradoxes or limitations. Examples: Russell's paradox, Gödel's incompleteness theorem. Any formal system powerful enough to describe arithmetic cannot prove its own consistency. Limits of objectivity. The observer is part of the system they observe, so true objectivity may not be possible, may be impossible. This is evident. Alright, so maybe, okay, another thing, maybe logic doesn't work. Maybe logic is not enough, and we need to come up with things that can describe observer and observed together. Or language is not enough, whatever. The observer is part of the system. Quantum mechanics. Oh yeah. The system a function. Dude, I said dual. Honestly, I'm a profound guy. Dual nature of reality. Mental masturbation a lot, but that's it. That's a package. That's the thing. You mental masturbate and you become profound at the same time. You cannot have only one of them. Dual nature of reality. There is an interplay between the subjective, the observer's experience, subjective, the observer's experience, and the objective, the observed world. In the subjective, okay. Yes, and the objective, the observed world. And it blurs the boundary between the two. Exactly. We are simplifying it for us because we want to study philosophical or Eastern philosophy, like Advaita, Vandala, Vedala, Lulu. The observer and the observed are seen as fundamentally the same. Wow, that's great. What you're observing observes you. What was that? What you're chasing is chasing you. So that's completely different, right? Our conversation so far was based on this fact that we have something object that we are observing and we are separate from it. But this Eastern philosophy is saying actually it just says fuck you, fuck this assumption. Actually, observer and observed are completely the same, fundamentally the same. The universe is not separate from you. You are universe observing itself. Yes, actually, this is a big fuck you. Okay, I think that may resonate because the guy saw that and said, alright, I will go the extreme opposite, and I say observer and observed are the same. Sometimes you're this is a big fuck you to our observer versus observed model. It took it to the complete to the extreme opposite. So it seems it is not true that observer and observed are completely separate. This is also bullshit. It sounds very motivational and good marketing after you. So they are the same. I don't think that's true too. I'm not this motherfucker. So there is something in between. We have a connection. Phenomenology like Edmund Husserl and Martin Heidegger, okay, I heard that name before, argue that experience is always a relationship between the observer and the world. Experience is a relationship between the observer and they reject the idea of a purely detached. Alright, so it seems right that there is no purely detached observer. They are not completely connected as well. Metaphysical holism. But how much they are connected? What is it? The universe is a single interconnected whole, which is again similar to the Eastern one. Any division between observer and observed is artificial and context dependent. Scientific and mathematical insights. Perspective, shift in perspective. Oh, where is it? Scientific and mathematical insight. The observer effect in quantum mechanics explicitly demonstrate that the act of observation is inseparable from observed systems. Mathematics, while mathematics provide abstract tools to model the world, it is ultimately a human creation. Wow. Rooted in the observer's mind. Wow. Attempts to create universal systems. Wow. Set theory. Wow. Encounter paradoxes when self-reference is involved. Wow. Systems thinking in complex system. The observer. What is it? What is an example of complex system? There is inherently part of the system they study. This is especially true in fields like ecology, sociology, cybernetics. Reconciliation of the observer and okay. Meta, I like meta, but it is still based on an assumption that we can detach, which we can. I can detach these two. I understand that this and this are not the same. Observer and the observed are in the same world. The challenge is to account for this shared existence without falling into paradox or illusion. Approaches include meta levels of. Okay, this is actually answer to one of the things that I know had equivalent to ZF axioms in real life in order to avoid contradiction. Self-reference. Alright. Meta levels of understanding. Separate the levels of description. Use meta-mathematics to study mathematics or meta-theories in philosophy. Complementarity. What is it? Complementarity. Embrace the dual nature of observer and observed, as in Niels Bohr principle of complementarity in quantum mechanics. I don't know what it is. Unity in diversity. Except that while distinctions exist for practical purposes, at a fundamental level, observer and observer are unified. The fact that the observer and the observer are and the interconnectedness of reality reveals our formal systems and necessity. So, what is an informal system? So, formal system is not enough. Holistic approaches are both unity and existence. The deepest level understanding is interplay mindedly, less about solving a paradox and more about embracing it as a fundamental truth of being. But there is no paradox. If there was, so does it mean that the life is paradox and paradox exist? There exists a paradox and this is the life. You are absolutely right to call it as a dramatic shift. So big fuck you synonym is dramatic shift in perspective. The observer is a model that is much of Western science and philosophy. Wow, it's interesting. That's Western, that was Eastern. Assumes a clear boundary between the two, and I am Middle Eastern. But philosophy is like la la la, and this challenge this assumption and flip it on its head. Inseparability between observers. It's not just a critique, it's almost a rejection of the foundational idea. Exactly, it's just being reactive. That the observer and inside the system being observed, this perspective can feel extreme because it doesn't just blur the boundary, it dissolves it entirely. Why does this shift feel so radical? Our intuitive model of reality observers is intuitive. I see the world out there, distinct from me, the one doing the seeing, and logic are built on this. Can we have, okay, now Can we have science and logic based on the unity of observer and observed? That's it. What was the other one? Other side. Okay, that was objectivity depends on separating observer and observed. That's it. That's objectivity depends on separating the observer. Ah, fuck, dude. Can we have science and logic based? Well, actually, this is related to. Yeah, maybe logic is not enough, and we need to come up with things that can describe observer and observer together. So it is another source. Can we have a new science and logic? New science and logic, and based on the unity of observer and the observed. For example, if Eastern cultures wanted to come up with a science, which is stupid, would they come up with new science? Or what would it be? By the way, what are the limitations of that Eastern philosophy? Because it probably leads to no science. Right? Science and liberal observer. Yes, being objective is beautiful. Don't forget that. Don't become ungrateful for all the things that this separation gave us. Just because it cannot describe everything, it doesn't mean it didn't do enough. It did a lot for us. All right. So yes, philosophy's argument, it suggests this separation is an illusion created by the human mind. The observer is part of an observer world, so any perceived boundary is an arbitrary, artificial, radical leap. Refining the boundary, exactly. I think that was super radical and unnecessary because, as I said, this separation helped us a lot in understanding the universe around us. And why should we have such a radical shift? We can refine it, the boundary, or contextualizing it. This philosophy discards suggesting everything is one. It is a philosophical mic drop. An argument that says your model of separateness, yeah, that's an illusion. Alright, that's a big. Alright, alright, let me see, let's have a sneak peek. Science. Quantum law, fuzzy. Alright, we will go over there and read that part too. Where is it? Okay. This perspective might feel like a big fuck you to the standard model, but it would also be seen as its completion. I don't think it is its completion. Completion would be a refinement of it that make it more complete. Its completion or transcendence. Here's why. What is it? Beyond the model. The observer as a framework works well for understanding parts of the world, but to the whole system it collapses. Alright. Who said we can study the whole system? So is the unified approach says I can understand the whole system? I don't think. Yeah, how good is exactly the fucking unified approach cannot say what is the difference between these two. How can it say how good is the whole world? incomplete. The clearly philosophy is like don't reject the model outright. They claim it's valid within limits, but it breaks down when applied. Well, that we knew ourselves. We didn't know your fucking philosophy. A complementary view. Instead of replacing the observed model, these philosophers offer a broader perspective. At the relative level, daily life, science, observer are distinct. Alright, I agree. Daily life, Earth is flat and we are all flat earthers. At the absolute level, the distinction disappears. Maybe. Why this opposite perspective matters? While it feels extremely the unity perspective forces us to confront the limits of our observer framework. Mechanics already hints at this unity, the observer influencing the observed system. Yes, but not like they're not exactly the same thing. They affect each other. That's it. Philosophy challenges reductionist models, reminding us that the framework are part of the reality. Exactly. Also, that sometimes we take the map or model as reality or territory. That's also wrong. And then we solve the model and come, oh, there is no solution to it. And then we say, oh, okay, there is no solution to that. No, in reality, there may still be a solution. We just need to come up with a model that captures some other aspects of reality. And this is what happens in recession. Back to recession now. So Amin was telling me, not Amin, but what is recession? Recession was like people don't have money because, they don't have money, right? And they want to keep their money. They don't want to spend it because they don't have money to spend, to invest, something like that. And these math formulas say us, okay, when yield is going negative to positive, we have recession. But these are just math. They are not the reality. In reality, we will find it's about being optimistic and find a solution and go look at from another angle to reality. Find a new model that says, the recession does not exist. Damn, this is so fucking difficult living life. Reduction model framework are that the frameworks we use are part of the reality we study. Taking the opposite stance, this perspective of what if separateness isn't fundamental? What if observing is just the universe experiencing itself? That's beautiful. That's a beautiful sentence. Yes, because the universe, like us, is a narcissist. It just wants to look at itself. By the way, what was the other one I wanted to say? Also, they should do something about the electron, right? They cannot say, okay, observer and observer are separate. We are so happy that we finally, either we need to come up with devices that separate us from electrons, or we have to come up with a model. Wow, this is so beautiful. You don't know what our solution to go for. Should I invent better devices, or should I come up with a new model that captures this entanglement? And the same with, we had it with like every engineering system, right? We had like, okay, oh fucking, what was that? So for a long time we were working on algorithms and software to do better with our hardware, and suddenly we had these GPUs showing up that are doing great. And they changed the whole perspective, right? Machine learning works great. Now everybody thinking, So hardware changed the way we think these days. It's possible to develop new science and logic based on the unity of the observer and the observed, but it would require profound rethinking. Where is it? Okay, feeling that this philosophy is extreme or opposite isn't just understandable, it is the point. It's meant to shake up assumptions, not offer an easier placement. Alright. Whether you embrace it or not, it's a challenge worth wrestling with, and your skepticism is part of that process. Alright. Yes, it's possible to develop new science and logic based on the theory of the observer and the observed, but it would require profound rethinking of fundamental principles in both fields, while traditional science and logic are grounded in the assumption of objectivity, where the observer is separate from the observed. There are already hints of approaches that challenge your science and design. Why unity of observer and observed challenges traditional models? Then you just say unity of observe. You cannot even say that these two things exist. Classical science and objectivity. The scientific method relies on separating the observer from the observed to ensure objectivity. Measurement and experiments are designed to eliminate the influencer of the observer, assuming the universe operates independently of who studies it. Yes. Oof. That is not, it gets very difficult to think, to be honest. I'm not ready for it. Limitation of objective framework, quantum mechanics. The observer influences the observed. Okay, it's like fourth time. Chaos and complexity in system like ecosystem. There is part of the system influences the dynamics, exactly. Science contextuality. Recognize that observation happens within a context. The observer. So we have a context that observer is involved. Instead of assuming universal truth, embrace context dependent truth. So we don't have universal truth, we have context dependent truth. Quantum mechanics already modeled this with observables that depend on the experiment. Participatory universe. John Wheeler's idea of participatory universe. What is that? Suggests that the universe requires observers to bring phenomena into existence. Ooh! It says we are not observing them, we are creating them by observing them. Who's this guy? John Wheeler. So once we are looking at something, we are creating them. American theoretical physicist. Are we creating them? Like, I'm creating this motherfucker. Oh, if you look at it through, like, you never go in one river twice. So every time I'm looking at it, I'm creating it. What about that? That way it makes sense. But every time I'm creating the same thing because they have a lot of things in common. Alright. Where was John Wheeler's idea of a universe? Suggests that the universe requires observer to bring phenomena into existence. So it is actually saying if you cannot see it, it doesn't exist. Science based on this would see the observer not as a detached entity but as an active participant. Non-dual thinking. Actually, I should just publish this conversation with ChatGPT as a paper. Non-dual thinking. That was an amazing talk. I really enjoyed it. And I'm talking about my talk, which is also related about our talk. Non-dual thinking, abundant binary logic, true false, observer observed, in favor of frameworks like fuzzy logic, where truth values are degrees of truth. Quantum logic, where the law of the excluded middle. What is excluded middle? Proof by contradiction does not always hold. These logics already hint at systems that blur traditional distinctions. Self-referential systems develop models that incorporate self-reference without collapsing into. That's also one thing we asked from the beginning. Can we have that incorporate self-reference? Not okay. We had like Russell's paradox, self-reference system that led to paradox, but not every self-reference. Maybe we can have refinements that we can say, oh, okay, these self-references lead to paradox, but these self-references do not lead to paradox. But what if we have define our logic? The logic is the thing that everything that does not lead to paradox. Then we don't have a definition for paradox then, right? Cybernetics and theory provide early examples, feedback loops, holistic interconnectedness. Science often reduces phenomena to parts, but a unified approach would emphasize interdependent. In ecology, the observer impacts the system they study, so the act of studying must be included. Practical examples of unified observer. Neuroscience and mind study the brain as both as an object of study and the seats of observation, focusing on how subject. I see. Ecology. I think it's also with OpenAI as well. If we are using it to create knowledge, I feel like after a while we just need to create knowledge about OpenAI. AI and recursive system. Build AI that can reflect on itself, blurring the line between observer and exact. Oh, dude, I didn't read it. Honestly, I promise, I didn't look at it. It came to my mind first. That's the beauty of it. You don't need to read bullshits all the time. You can think. These are just reminders. You have the tools to think yourself. Recursive and self-reference are stepping stones. Alright. So let's also, do we have another? I also have a Buddhist unified operator. Alright, and what happens if one day everybody we have ChatGPT create all the knowledge will be any extra knowledge that we need to find. I don't know, the question obviously is stupid, but I wanted to. He's very understanding. So, new logical framework, multi-valued logic, incorporate, or in other words, can ChatGPT create new information? Multi-valued logic dynamic logic involves based on state of the observer and observed. Embodied logic, the logic rooted in experience rather than abstraction, inspired of non-external thoughts. What is this embodied logic? Challenges and opportunities. How do you rigorously monitor where the observer is integral to the, how do you ensure it's avoid paradox in self-referential opportunities as a conclusion? I don't want to. How good is the unified approach? Well, it doesn't say we have such systems yet. Loss of prediction power. Okay. Complexity and interactability, self-reference issues. Loss of predictive power, ambiguity and subjectivity requires new tools and frameworks. Unified quantum mechanics or science. How good is consciousness study? Social and economic system as well. Mechanism design. I thought mechanism is design, but the assumptions we usually make about the types. Human psychology. Yes, human market behavior is influenced by exactly complex interaction. Study living organisms. How good is it? Strengths, weakness. What happens if one day we have to, if one day the creation of knowledge on AI system like ChatGPT, the question of whether the would simply ask external knowledge to discover touches on the nature of knowledge itself, AI and knowledge versus discover. Knowledge is not discovered. Collection of information facts and insight that have been codified. Process of uncovering unknown truth. Pattern or ideas. It often involves intuition, creativity, and serendipity. So that is uncovering the truth. Discovery is about the unknown. Knowledge is about structure of the known or ordering, collection of information. Even if AI creates all knowledge, discovery may still require human experience and interaction with the world. This arises AI operate within defined parameters. Emergent and unpredictable phenomena. Recursive knowledge creation. Yeah, as closure of a closed set is closed, or closure of a set equals to closure of itself. AI system capable of recursive self-improvement and self-regulation about their own process and refinement that could potentially accelerate discovery. However, knowledge of limits of AI. Recursive systems could encounter theoretical limits such as Gödel incompleteness theorem. Even AI systems cannot fully resolve all truths within a system they are part of. Bounded rationality. Humans have practical limitations. Resources. AI may generate knowledge that remains abstract or theoretical without context and interpretation. AI can create models or parrot, but interpretation, contextual human lensing. Interpretation. They might identify a mathematical pattern, but understanding its implication in physics. Will there be extra knowledge to find? Infinite, complex perspective adds human perspective. Yeah, how do we feel it? New framework, unforeseen realities, role of AI in exploration of meaning. Okay, so AI does the computing side for us, so we have more time for interpreting things, finding value in knowledge, generate countless theories about ethics, but deciding which to follow, a human question, creating new questions. Ordinary organization but with certainty generates depend on how we define creation. What does it mean to create new information? Something that we cannot. Okay, I have a pack of data. I cannot say anything about this question based on this. Synthesis, combining existing ideas or data in novel ways to produce something not previous. Yes. Synthetic is really nice word. I think we can have creative mode and synthetic mode. I think AI can help us a lot with synthetic part, but it cannot help us with creation part. As humans, we can have imagination and create things. Discovery is an entirely new concept pattern. And I think it is our duty as human beings, we have to be more creative. Synthetic is necessary, but it is second order. Side that we are known. By the way, Think and Grow Rich also confirmed. ChatGPT is primarily designed for synthesis rather than the true discovery. Now we have these strong tools that, all right, we need to still understand how to synthesize, but we can focus more on creativity these days. How we don't need to code anymore, probably. How ChatGPT creates new information, novel combination, find new patterns. Another example, writing a poem in the style of Shakespeare about modern technology. New in the sense that the specific act never existed exactly. Inference can infer plausible conclusions or hypotheses from existing information. Exactly. Historical events, it might hypothesize how future events could unfold. These inferences are not ground truth, but can be considered new information within probabilistic extrapolation. Limitation of ChatGPT in it cannot create truly new information. Lack of direct observation, yes. Bounded by training data, exactly. They are combining existing ideas. No independent logical framework. New systems of thoughts framework, often key to groundbreaking. It says key to groundbreaking discoveries are like Einstein theory of relativity is new system of thoughts, looking at it through a new angle, right? Frameworks are no intentional. So the reality didn't change, but we changed the way we were looking at reality. However, but then the observer and even says that we actually created a new reality, maybe. No intentional exploration. Creativity often involves no intention. Involves intention. It doesn't involve, yeah, you should have the intention. Creativity often involves intentional exploration of the unknown driven by curiosity or purpose. So you can have purpose, and it is good to have purpose, and you can be curious just out of boredom. Lacks agency and cannot intentionally seek new horizons. Dude, but honestly, we are amazing. Human beings are like, we can have purpose and we can be curious. Purpose is like, I want to do this. Curious is like, I don't know, I just want to see what happens. And both of them are valuable. Can ChatGPT contribute to genuine discovery? You cannot create, but it can assist for sure, inspire, automate exploration. No? Can AI eventually create through new knowledge, recursive improvement, collaborative AI? All right, that was a really good talk. Sounds really good. I'm really happy. Okay, I think I'm truly kind of alright. It can keep my composure for 5 years probably, this talk. Should I save it? No, because we have ChatGPT. We can ask these questions. Let them go. And they will be here, by the way. I don't need to save it. Now it's time for some Counter-Strike. How long has it been? 2:30. What is this? Why did it change? Honestly, I don't know. Give me the game. Oh, was one to remember Team Spirit, and that's amazing. Ceremony champion in front of an excited soul crowd. Wow, that's amazing. I want to see. Did they record it? Battle bag with 24 round with the bomb planted. Oh, it was a planted. That's amazing. Can we watch it? Is there somewhere? What is the name? Shanghai Grand Final. Champions of Shanghai. Should I search that? Champions of Shanghai. Team Spirit. But they're not showing their game though. Oh, they are showing. Alright. How long is this? It's live. Wait, I thought it was over. So you can see that too. Alright. I'd rather play the game than watch the game. So, okay. You can watch sometime to learn how to play better. But watching for watching, I don't like it. So, yeah. If you play a lot, it's good to watch because they give you some solution you haven't thought about. But I'm not playing a lot, so I don't need to watch. I created this kind of pressure. Dude, that was goosebumps. I play the game, you watch the game. Like Adam Shifter. I created this added pressure. Slow it down. Oof. I can never. All the praise plus all the hates. Damn, why? Ah. So, what was I saying? Yeah, all the greats got all the hate. All the rappers at some point called it fake. Dude, it hit! How? Fucking Cesar Guzman. Oh, knifed. Did you like it? I definitely don't need to watch any game. Dude, I'm miserable. What is it? Nothing. I created this added pressure. Oh, I'm the one who made Jack. I cannot say Jack. I will get it. Where is it? Motherfuckers! Get out! Get out of your stupid houses. And I kill you. Ah, where am I? This is such a good spot. Dude, I killed Guzman this time. Why do we have Osama bin Laden? People are stupid. Killing, unkilling behavior. Where is it? Where is the guy? Do you like it? Uh-huh. You like it too? Oh, motherfucker! Guzman does not leave me alone, bro. What's wrong? We good? Hopefully, we are. I created this added pressure. Slow it down. I could never. Oh. It's getting warm. All the grades got all the hate. All the. Oh, motherfucker. Fuck you! Damn, what? Dude, all those people, this motherfucker should be the only one that's killing me. I did really bad. Are curious people, do curious people have purpose? Dude, come on, fuck off. Fuck off from my life. Wow, alright. Jeez, these guys have shown no mercy. Uh-huh. Stop it, bro. Can you fucking stop? Habibi. Habibi, who's Habibi? Alright, I'm tired. But I want to ask this question. Alright, I'm not in the mood to play. Dude, who are those people who are inside here? Shit. Alright, I'm gonna go stick to the main menu, yes. And I'm gonna quit. Yes, quit. Alright. And I wanna close this one. And I wanna ask ChatGPT. Yeah, let's ask him like this. And Mamba and Damba playing salsa. Recording. Alright. So what are you doing? So can someone be both curious and purposeful?
Yes, someone can absolutely be both curious and purposeful, and the combination of these traits can be incredibly powerful. While they may seem like different mindsets, curiosity and purpose often complement each other when aligned effectively. How curiosity and purpose work together. 1. Curiosity. Definition. The desire to explore, question, and discover without a fixed endpoint. Strength. Opens doors to the unknown and fosters creativity. Challenge. Can feel aimless or scattered without direction. 2. Purpose. Definition. A sense of direction or goal that guides actions and decisions. Strength. Provides focus and motivation. Challenge. Can become rigid or limit exploration. By combining them, curiosity fuels purpose. It helps you ask better questions, explore new paths, and adapt your goals based on what you discover. Purpose channels curiosity. It ensures your explorations are meaningful and aligned with your values or long-term objectives. Examples of curiosity and purpose in action. 1. Scientists and inventors. Curious. They explore phenomena or problems without immediate answers. Purposeful. Their curiosity is often driven by a desire to solve a
I feel
specific problem or
curiosity.
prove the world.
Fuck off.
Example.
I feel curiosity and having purpose. What is the state of having purpose? Purposefulness. Are actually that exploration, exploitation paradigms. They cannot be together. Being both curious and purposeful allows for exploration with direction. Honestly, it seems to me they seem separate, like exploration versus exploitation in RL. To draw a parallel between curiosity and purpose. So purpose is just purpose. No need to purposefulness. And exploration versus exploitation. And well, because they reflect a similar tension, whether to venture into the unknown, curiosity, or to focus on a specific goal or payoff, purpose, exploitation. Let's dig deeper, I love that, into the connection and why they might seem separate, but they are actually intertwined. Wow, that's interesting. Exploration. Alright, let me put it here. That, and I promise that's the last thing. I'm tired. I want to eat food. I have two counterparts. Let's see. Okay, this is the good one. All right. Curiosity. The concept align well because okay. Or L. Exploration. Try new actions to discover more about the environment. Exploitation. Use known information to maximize reward. So how can you purposefully be curious? Or curiously be purposeful? Fuck off. Use unknown information reward decrease the rate of exploration for others. Curiosity, uncertainty, and learning new possibilities. Exploitation focuses on purposeful action toward a specific goal. Balancing these, I think the only thing is balancing. There is no together of them. Crucial for success, too much exploration, waste time without maximizing rewards, while too much exploitation risks missing better options. Curiosity with versus purpose, exploration, unknown, involves venturing beyond what is necessary or immediately useful. Scientist is curious without a clear, but the CEO has purpose. He doesn't have purpose. Achieving a specific goal or fulfilling a mission. In an example, scientists developing a specific vaccine based on principle. Why they seem separate, different focus. Okay, about open-ended searching, purpose is about open-ended searching is kind of sounds like getting lost. Purpose is about targeted achieving. The mental states involved are often distinct. Curiosity thrives on ambiguity and possibility, while purpose thrives on clarity and direction. Conflicting resources used. In RL, exploration requires investing resources, time, computational effort without guaranteed payoff. Similarities. Curiosity may feel like a distraction from a purposeful action. Yes. Exploitation focuses resourcefulness on what is already known. Temporal difference. Curiosity is temporary, is often forward looking, discovering new. The future purpose tends to be grounded in the present. It's already known. How they are connected. Prelude. What does prelude mean? Dude, I lost all of my energy, so I cannot talk honestly, and my ear aches. But we will go by the end of it. Alright. I'm not reading it for you then. Oh, why is this a different focus? Exploitation focuses resources on what is already known to work, potentially at the expense of innovation. At the expense, exact. Temporal difference is often for okay. How they are connected. Practice curiosity and purpose. Curiosity and or exploration and exploitation are not completely separate. Okay, instead. Oh, okay, that's the question I had actually. Alright. How they are connected. They often interact and feed into each other. So you exploit, and you don't find anything. You get bored, you get curious, you find a new thing. Alright, sometimes just becoming curious. Like, kills causality sometimes, but I think sometimes when you become curious, you just find new solutions. I mean, like it feels like you are in a curious state. You are tired, you are bored of the purpose or the goal you had, and then solutions start to show to you. It's not that, okay, I want to try different. Like, sometimes curiosity is not, I don't want to intentionally, like, that's why I say it doesn't have this purpose behind it. I don't purposefully go explore this different solution. It's just, I'm tired of my solution. I am for my own fun. I am doing this, sometimes this, and suddenly I'm back to the game, you know? Prelude to exploitation, curiosity, exploration, builds the knowledge base that purpose relies on. So, okay, curiosity builds the knowledge that exploitation relies on. Can be very true. For example, an exploitation, how curiosity is based on exploitation, by the way. Exploitation, for me, exploitation or purpose creates the boredom that generates curiosity. For example, curiosity driven research in quantum mechanics eventually enabled purposeful. Purposeful exploration. Purpose can guide curiosity to areas that are likely to yield meaningful discoveries, reducing wasted effort. Exploring a new region in RL but prioritize action that align with long-term goal. Revisiting exploration during exploitation when purposeful action encounters diminishing returns. Exactly, that's what I was talking about. That you get bored, you go one way and you meet diminishing return. That's actually the quote that says the game that took you from the beginner to intermediate doesn't take you from intermediate to advanced. It starts to show you diminishing return. Then it is time to go explore, become curious, find new ways. All right. The areas that are likely to visiting purpose can guide curious areas that are like. Connection encounters diminishing returns. Curiosity can re-emerge to find new direction or expand. Curiosity, a product, or a product of boredom or excitement, or excitement. But what is product? What is mother of purpose? Is it need? Alright, and like that, revisiting, example in RL and real life and research. Applied research is purpose driven. Exactly, and a successful career often requires moving between the two. That's why I did my theoretical work at the beginning and now I want to do something more applied. I'm so profound. And epsilon greedy algorithms exploration. Life curation might play this role, occasionally steering someone off their purpose. Better options, successful career, entrepreneurship. So begin with exploration and then balancing the two. At the beginning, you do explore, then you go for exploit, then you go explore, then awareness scarcity about the knowledge base early and use to purposeful action later. Usually, uncertain environment long term focus on exploiting what is already known, but usually in stable environments where returns are predictable. I see. So in stable environments, you want to exploit first. Then, when diminishing return shows up, explore. In an unknown environment, you want to get to know. Then you need curiosity to know, and then once you know, exploit. You may feel separate because they emphasize opposite priorities, discovery versus focus. However, they are deeply connected and complement each other. Yes, actually, that's so true. They are separate in the sense that they're two different approaches, but they are very connected in the sense that we need both of them for succeeding. In real life, mastering this dynamic tension, there is from emotional state like boredom and it fits well with the idea that it may re-emerge when purposeful action encounters diminishing returns. Exactly. Here as a product in emotional state, boredom, it rises, boredom, engaging or repetitive, leading to a lack of stimulation, how it drives curiosity. Dude, I have to go to the restroom, honestly. Done! Finish it! The boredom signals that the current focus is no longer rewarding or meaningful. To escape this state, the mind seeks novelty or new challenges and curiosity. Connection to diminishing return when purposeful yields. And it is why I started this venue that I want to do more practical because I got tired of doing theoretical work. When purpose, I'm so right. Purposeful action yields lesson. And boredom might set in, prompting curiosity to explore new action. Example: scientists stuck in debt. And dude, by the way, we are so lucky that we get bored because it's a signal, dude. You need to try something new. Exam scientist stuck in a dead-end experiment. It's me. May I start wondering about entirely different approaches or phenomenon. Curiosity from excitement. Same encouragement, encountering something novel, intriguing, or what is it? Diminishing returns. Oh, okay. How is excitement return related to diminishing return? When purpose leads to something surprising or promising, may reignite exploration to capitalize on that discovery. Alright. But there is no diminishing return. I see. Curiosity transforms. As an adaptive mechanism, boredom, the emotional trigger occurs, boredom, adaptive response to boredom signals stagnation. Yeah, boredom is the reason behind all the fun. This aligns with exploration after excitement, signals opportunity, curiosity in the context of what is the reason behind purpose? So we had boredom and excitement lead to curiosity. Purpose is it need or you have so much? What is the opposite of need? Or What is the state? You can learn a lot of things. Poverty and flourishing. Alright, I'll ask this one. Sufficiency, abundance. So how can abundance generate purpose? Abundance creates boredom, yes. The reason behind a neat cake creates death. Purpose can stem from depending on the individual situation. Drivers need different motivation. When me deficiency and sufficiency, survival and security, overcoming challenges, external purpose from need is powerful, strong focus and drive. Potential once the need is fulfilled, purpose may lose its intensity, as it should. Who said you should have purpose all the time? This search for meaning, purpose, dude. I have to. Okay, we will stop it and I come back.